Emerald Ashburn hardly resembles the smiling high school freshman from her iconic photograph. The one many of us remember from 4 years ago, when the news of her disappearance first hit broadcast television. 3 years ago, when the reward money reached $500,000. Or 5 months ago, when she was featured in an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. She's older, of course, her hair grown long and dyed an inky black. But there's also a change in her demeanor, a hedgehog-like prickliness that does not reflect the cheerful overachiever described by those who once knew her. Her arms are crossed, her eyes quick to narrow, her gaze fixed to mine in challenge. It's a wonder anyone recognized her well enough to call in the tip that ended one mystery and started another. Her first words to me are, "If you're going to write something like this, you can go." She holds up a magazine featuring her school photo and a photo of her captor. The photographs were taken in the same auditorium by the same photographer, perhaps only minutes apart. 4 years ago, if asked to imagine Emerald's kidnapper, I doubt anyone would have pictured a baby-faced teen with uneven bangs. The headline of the magazine reads, "Schoolgirl kidnapped by psycho lesbian classmate." There are several tabloids, magazines, and newspapers strewn across the spacious living room. It's clear that Emerald has been following her own case, and the public's reaction to it. It took some convincing to get into Emerald's family home in the first place, and it takes more to get us settled down at the dining room table. 6 seats, Emerald at the head like a general planning war. I start with what I initially thought would be a softball. "How does it feel to be home?" Her reply is brusque, but her eyes look away from mine for the first time since we met. "My home is a crime scene. I'm just waiting for them to clean up the tape." "Is 801 Elm Street home?" "Yeah." "Are you even allowed to live there?" "I'm 18, and Lainey's family still owns the house, so I don't see why not. It's not like she's going to kick me out." Emerald is referring to Elaine Dubois, her kidnapper and former classmate, currently facing up to 20 years in prison. "They say you were held only 6 miles away." "I guess, yeah. It's not like I ever drove it." After a moment, she adds, "It's creepy." "What's creepy?" "Being here. Sleeping in a bedroom that looks exactly the way it did when I was 14. The drawers are full of clothes that don't fit me. This book I was reading was sitting on my bed with the bookmark on the same page. There are all these posters for shows I never finished and bands I don't listen to anymore. God, I had such shitty taste in music." I laugh. Emerald does not. A small dog jumps up onto her lap. She doesn't look down, but she automatically begins petting the terrier's head. My next question surprises her, and for a brief moment, I see the innocent girl we spent the last 4 years searching for. "Emerald, why am I here?" "What?" "You agreed to this interview. There must be something you want to say." "I guess, yeah. Can I just talk?" "Of course." We sit in silence as Emerald gathers her thoughts. She chews her nails when she's anxious. "I love Lainey. I know that makes people uncomfortable, but I do. I'm going to testify on her behalf, if they let me. They should let me. I'm not crazy. I don't have Stockholm syndrome or trauma bonding or whatever label some asshole on TV wants to put on me without ever talking to me. And I'm not just saying that. I read up on it. It doesn't match up. Not really. You have to be trapped to get that stuff, right? But Lainey's a ditz. I could have escaped week 2 if I really wanted to. I just didn't. If I'd seen the news reports, seen my family crying on TV, I probably would have felt guilty enough to do it. But Lainey kept me away from all that stuff. It's not like my family was a bad family or my life was a bad life. But I was still in a really bad place when Lainey took me. It was just a lot. All the time. The chance to hit pause on life. A non-optional vacation from school and parents and soccer and debate team and social media and just everything. I didn't even have to feel bad because it wasn't my fault, right? It was all on Lainey. Lainey made the decisions, and it was nice to just let someone else handle things for a while. Lainey was kind of amazing. I know people are going to roll their eyes reading this. And yeah, obviously the whole drugging me and bringing me home in a cello case thing was fucked up. Locking me in a room? Fucked up. Not letting me see other people? Super fucked up. But otherwise, she was genuinely kind. She cared about me. The second I said I was upset about not graduating high school, there was Lainey the tutor with extra homework sheets, giving me her books and rewriting her tests so I could take them myself. When I worried about my parents, she let me write them letters. And yeah, that didn't exactly go the way I'd hoped it would, but still. She got me a puppy because I looked lonely when she had to go to school. She stared at me like I was the prettiest person she'd ever seen, but she didn't even hold my hand until I asked her to. She didn't hurt me. She didn't yell at me. I wasn't even scared of her after the initial shock wore off a few days in. Did you know Elaine before she kidnapped you? No, we went to different middle schools, and the only class we had in common during freshman year was math. We never spoke before she took me. But I know her now. She messed up, and we talked about it. We were finally starting to work through our shit. I was trying to go out and be a person again, and she was trying not to worry about me so much. That's when you were recognized. Yep. I was probably taking the dog for a walk or something. It's not like Lainey kept me under lock and key at that point. We were going on dates and stuff. We were okay. We were happy. Is that why you lied to the police? I thought it would be better for us if I said I was some stupid teenager who fell in love and ran away. I pretty much was after a few weeks. If Lainey didn't keep tapes, I think I could have gotten her out of trouble. Tapes. Nothing that bad, but yeah. She had this camera in the corner of the room to watch me when she was gone. To stop you from escaping. Emerald smiles properly for the first time. Honestly, I think it just drove her nuts to be away from me 30 hours a week. She went to the bathroom like 10 times a day to peek in on me. Were you always on camera? Yeah, it was intimidating for the first few days, and then weird, and then normal, and then comforting. I didn't even need to ask for anything. She just knew, either because of the cameras or because she was Lainey. The dog suddenly jumps off of Emerald's lap, interrupting our conversation. Emerald watches as it trots off. I keep looking for the perfect words. Like, if I can just explain it right, that everyone will understand that, yeah, she did a bad thing, but it turned out okay in the end. That we need couples counseling or regular counseling, not a felony charge. I'm the victim, right? I'm the one who got kidnapped. But nobody cares about what I say. Nobody cares what I want. What do you want? Mostly, I want to go back in time 4 years, grab Lainey by the shoulders, and tell her to ask me to homecoming like a normal person. More realistically, I want to hug my girlfriend without some prison guard checking his watch and telling us to break it up. I get it if she gets convicted, but 20 years? She was 15 and stupid and lonely and basically abandoned by her parents. And yeah, a little crazy. Cut her some slack. I have. If Lainey were here right now, is there anything you would say to her? I've seen Lainey once a week since her arrest. There's nothing I could say to her now that I haven't said to her 1,000 times already. So, probably the usual. I love you. Don't do anything stupid. I'll see you next Friday. I was going for a magazine article / pretentious true crime podcast kind of vibe here. How'd I do? Also, shout out to my recent Ko-fi donors, Krista Nubis and Indigo.